The Modelo 720 is one of the most contentious and infamous tax forms in Spain. It's famed for its ridiculously punitive fines for late reporting and how it affects the lives of Spanish taxpayers who have assets over a certain value overseas. In this week's episode, we're going to take a look at the 720 and how it's changing in this year and next year. So welcome to episode 123 of 2 Minute Tuesday with Hondon Valley Homes, where we're on the case of Spanish taxes yet again. Now, all fiscal residents of Spain are legally obliged to report assets over and above a certain value held overseas. Now, if you're unsure of whether you're a fiscal resident or not, then please pause this episode, go back on our website and have a look at episode 45 of 2 Minute Tuesday, and you'll see whether you are a legal fiscal resident or not. Now, the reporting of these assets abroad is not per se to tax you on them. However, it offers the tax office a baseline from which future increases in these assets can be monitored and may be taxed. Now, the deadline for these declarations is on the 31st of March each year, and the magical figure over and above which you must report is 50,000 euros in assets. So what is clarified as an asset? Now, it's split into three categories. We have accounts, we have investments, and we have properties. So these will include things like bank accounts. If you have any foreign currency, now the exchange rate for foreign currency is worked out on the 31st of December and not the current rate. You have things like stocks, shares, as well as properties and income that's derived from those properties. Now, as a point of interest, the value of the property is the value attributed to when you purchased the property and not its current value. Now, once you've made the declaration, you would further be required to report that if the value of any of these assets has increased by 20,000 euros or more in any of the three categories, then you need to inform the tax office. You also need to inform them of any sales or purchases in each of these categories that would now increase above the 50,000 euros threshold. So, as with any tax, there are also punishments for failing to adhere to the formalities of the 720 form. And the most common used terms for these fines are draconian and disproportionate, which are certainly two words you don't wish to hear in this context. In fact, the fines were so severe, it came to the attention of the EU Commission, and consequently the Court of Justice of the European Union, back in January the 27th of this year, concluded that the Spanish legislation regarding the tax form 720 in contrary to EU law. Hooray! Well, perhaps hold the horses. Certain aspects of 720 need to change after this ruling, namely the fines and the reporting restrictions. However, the Hacienda in Spain have reported that this is not going to be the end of the 720 as we know it, and once the Hacienda have sort of dissected the ruling and the small print, there will be a new process in place. So yet again, another tax episode and as clear as mud. The one lesson maybe that should be taken here is to make sure that your tax affairs are dealt with by a professional. Day in, day out, we deal with clients who have lived in Spain for many, many years and they're still not aware of their tax obligations. And I'm afraid when it comes to tax, ignorance is no defence with tax matters. So this brings to a close another action-packed episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. I promise the next episode won't have anything at all to do with taxes. We'll have a fun one for you then. Our details should be on the screen at the moment, so if you're looking at buying properties in and around the Hondon Valley area or selling properties, please feel free to drop me a line. We'll be more than happy to help. But until the next episode, we look forward to seeing you then. So until then, adios.